Welcome all today to one of the most historic days in Australian Coptic history. We've gathered here today in Belmore Park in Sydney to mourn the recent killings of those who were needlessly murdered at the hands of the Egyptian government. The recent killings of more than 24 Coptic Christians by the Egyptian army in Cairo. We are blessed today to have Amber Suriel with us, and he's the Bishop of Melbourne, as well as many dignitaries and honourable politicians such as the Honourable Tony Abbott, Federal Leader of the Opposition, as well as Honourable Chris Bowen, who is Minister for Immigration and Citizenship. I have with me Bishop Suriel, who's the Bishop of Melbourne, who's joining me today, and we'd just like to get his opinion on a few burning questions that are so relevant to this issue today. Sayyidina, what do you have to say about the events that have been going on in Egypt currently?
No, I think it's a real tragedy to see that Egypt has got to this level, that now it's not only, local Muslims in many different cities across Egypt that are attacking and persecuting innocent and peaceful Coptic Christians, but now this persecution has been taken to a completely different level, where the people who are supposed to protect the country and protect all Egyptians, the military regime has turned on these peaceful protesters and shot them down and bulldozed them with their tanks. This is something that is incomprehensible to me, that this is the level that we have reached, and it's very clear that some of the Salafi elements and Islamists have infiltrated the Egyptian military, that it has reached to this stage.
Bishop Suriel, as you know, we have in attendance today the Honourable Tony Abbott, leader of the federal opposition leader, and this has never been done or seen in Australian Coptic history. Now, the stance that he's made is all very well and good, but we need more action. And what can you tell us, or what do you think the Australian government should do in order to continue and further enhance the awareness of the Coptic movement and to aid these people in actions rather than words?
Yeah. Look, I'm very grateful for the presence of the leader of the opposition, Mr. Tony Abbott, that he is here today, and had the opportunity to meet with him about a week ago, and he made representations to the Prime Minister on our behalf as well. And this is a positive step, and I look forward to hear what he has to say today. The Australian government has also taken some very important steps, that unprecedented steps that have not been taken in the past, like the motion that was passed in Parliament with respect to the issue of the persecution of Copts. But I would still like to see more being done. It is good that they are starting to realize the seriousness of the problem, but I still think more can be done to speak out publicly so that the Australian people know what the Australian government stands on the persecution of Copts. I mean, some statements have been issued, but they haven't been made public, or they haven't gone out. The Prime Minister or the Minister of Foreign Affairs haven't gone on television and said what is happening in Egypt is wrong and something needs to change. And I would like to see that happen, and more representation in the UN, I hope.
What would you hope to achieve out of this protest? What would you hope to see happen as a result or an outcome of this today?
No, I think, it is a raising of an awareness in the Australian community of what is happening to Coptic Christians in Egypt, for the wider Australian community to be aware of this, and for them also to raise their voices along with us to say that this injustice needs to stop, and we want our full human rights and religious freedom to build churches, to be able to worship freely, for our women not to be kidnapped, to have all positions in government, for Copts to be able to be elected freely. This has not happened, and all we get is rhetoric and words that try to calm us down, but this is not sufficient for us anymore. And we're not gonna stop talking. We're gonna continue raising our voices, and I'm sure the Lord is hearing us, and He will continue to protect and care for His people in Egypt.
So as you've just seen, we were joined with Bishop Suriel just now, and there are so many people here, and all here for the same reason, to show their solidarity and their support to the Coptics in Egypt.